Hi, welcome to my video. I'm Jennifer Roberts. This is Theodore, little 6-year-old. I appreciate you all being here. I'm sorry I haven't been around the last couple of days. Family, work, and other things that I've been having to get on with. I wanted to say a huge, big thank you because more subscribers have come, and I appreciate you all. I know that that's from the traffic that has come over from Wayne's channel, and I appreciate you more than you know. And so I'm sending out love, appreciation, big huggy vibes to all of you who have done that. Thank you so much. So this is where I put out the daily content, where I should supply the information of the energies of the day, of combining that with tarot and giving you a narrative to help you reach your highest potentials on any given day. Take what resonates as it is general and leave what does not. And I appreciate any of the comments, which I will be catching up on hopefully later today. I always appreciate other people's perspectives, and it's great to open up dialogue. We can trust each other much more than we can mainstream media. So even just sharing what's going on in your area or how you're transmuting the energies in your area is appreciated by many, because even if they don't comment back, they get a chance to read those different perspectives and have a different point of view that can expand our thoughts, expand the way we're thinking, and can give us certain insights and inner standings that we've been searching for. So this is for the 2nd of May. I know, I can't believe it that we're in May. My birthday month, the time is so fast. It's speeding up so much, and so the year is disappearing very quickly. And it's important that in this fast time we learn how to recalibrate and reestablish ourselves in it, in order that we don't get swept by, particularly by what these so-called powers that be are doing right now, and get sort of left behind in that. We need to speed up our action. We need to speed up our taking action on the back of our intuitions in particular, because let's face it, they've proven over and over again that the facts and figures that they're putting out are nothing of the sort. And so it is our intuition that we need to go back to and need to really reestablish a friendship, a relationship with again, in order to have it as one of our main guiding sources, our main guiding light, in order for our physical to then take action upon. And that takes a trust in self. It takes a trying, it takes time, it takes, it's like developing muscle in a certain part of the body. It doesn't just happen overnight. You have to practice at it, and you have to be in trust that your body at the start of the process is going to look the way that you are planning to sculpt whatever muscle that you are planning to sculpt. You have to have that vision in mind. You have to have that intent in mind. So to have the intent that you are going to follow your gut instincts, your intuition is really integral right now for your greatness, and therefore everybody's greatness. So on the bottom of the deck for the 2nd of May 2021, we have the 7 of Swords. This is about stealing in the plain sight. It's a bright day here in the yellow, blue and yellow spell. I refer back to the blue and yellow magic, that video that I put out, the writing on the wall. That is still very much in play. And so within this plain sight, we see that there is huge amounts of theft being done, things being taken, very much so from a thought point of view, literally putting bird cages around people's minds, caging up the mind, limiting the usual powerhouse that is the mind, the thought system, and condensing it down into a cage, into a way of thinking, taking away that independent thought. It speaks a lot about going back to old revelations, in particular for the gates of hell, that billy goat, looking at the way that theft was taken. He got to where he was by being allowed, for the people that were behind him, the beings that were behind him, backing him, by stealing you know, things, ways of communicating, ways that the internet work right now, of stealing those things from lesser known characters. And so it's important that we look at that and see the ramifications of our complacency, the complacency of those around him, allowing that to happen. Look at the power that that has given, not just him, over the collective. It's given him huge amounts of power. So in our individual lives, we are asking ourselves today in the energies to be honest with ourselves, that even those around us who we have had suspicions about, who we adore, who we love and are used to being around, that many of us have these people around us that are actually, in particular, thieves of intellectual property, thieves of your thoughts, of your energy, of your creative powerhouse that is your mind, stealing things that are not theirs to have, and doing it while they smile at your face in the plain light of day. You know, they're doing it, and usually that's the best way to do it. You know, it takes a lot of stealth, yes, to do it in the secrecy of night, in the shadows. What is really worked out for the collective stage and those narcissists that we have in our individual lives around us, it's really worked out for them to actually come out bold and in your face, you know, tell a lie, make it big enough and they'll believe it, kind of thing. That kind of energy has worked out real well. So a lot of you could be facing unbelievable behavior that people go to great lengths to prove to you what kind of person they are, pretending to be on the phone to prove where they were last night. And when actually, if you were to take that phone and check, they would be phoning nobody. They would be phoning themselves and having an absolute play played out in front of you while they talk and say, wasn't I at your house? I was, wasn't I? But I mean, yeah, I was, but she's saying I wasn't. That kind of energy. And so a lot of you are dealing with this today and are being asked to be honest about it. And a lot of this, because it is very convoluted, but in the plain light of day, a lot of you are under the pressure and the fear of others not believing you or judging you for cutting yourself loose of what seems to be a real nice person who's always there for you. And so this is where we take action, because we look at past events of people like Billy Goat being allowed to steal the things that he stole and establish them as his own. We can't always contemplate with foresight what allowing things to slide will do. We've allowed too many things to slide on the collective stage, but most of all in our individual lives. It always starts from the within to the without. And so this is where we do need to take divinity and sovereignty over our personal space and not accept these kinds of energies who would be thieves, who would want to take from us, who would want to limit our creative thought process, who would want to label our creative thought process as madness, as conspiracy theory. That kind of energy today is rife, and it's your power to be in divinity and sovereignty and call it out and cut it loose once and for all. And so we have on the bottom of the other deck, the page, the Knight of Pentacles. So this speaks about following your instincts a lot, taking account of everything around you in the physical, pentacles being physical, and being strategic about it. Where your beast is wanting to maybe run off in a gallop in one direction, there needs to be a balancing of a restraint, of a slow pace, so that you can not be tricked and fooled quite so much, so that you can be able to plan your moves and think about it in a very business-like fashion, a very pentacle-like fashion, a very pro and con list fashion. And that directly correlates to those around you that need to be cut out of your space. as soon as possible, immediately, really. We've got as the first card the Ace of Cups, but it's in reverse. And so where the Ace of Cups in the upright is all about self-love and having the wisdom to acknowledge yourself in a loving way, in an accepting way, and having your cup overflow with this energy, which is the most beautiful energy ever and attracts in beauty. We find that in the reversed, this is where we are feeling empty. We are feeling like a void. We are feeling like we are at a loss, you know. And so there are many people maybe feeling this way in waves, you know. You sort of get yourself out of it and then you hear something else and it hits you again. And so the energy here is really trying to dig deep into the fact that these things that we put up with and let slide, the people that we have around us that would take from us, and you think, well, they've just taken that, I can afford to lose that, or I can afford to lose this. This is where the true ramifications of that are in your individual life. It's a siphon. It siphons off from you. You give out this energy that you'll put up with this kind of action, this kind of theft, this kind of intellectual property theft, the labeling, it empties you. And so you feel at a loss right now. And a lot of these people around, those of you that this resonates with, are from family connections, with the Six of Cups in reverse here, to clarify the Ace of Cups in reverse. So emotional cords, emotional connections to the past in particular. So a lot of you, this will be family members, lifelong friends, lovers that you met at a really young age, children of your own even, or grandchildren, which is very, very difficult. So no wonder it is feeling like a void right now, because these emotional connections, you realize, are being instead of them being in the upright where they're pleasant memories and you can look back and gain from the emotional connections that you had with others, we see that in reverse we have had a lot of us have had family members, friends, we've been born into circles that truly do not resonate with us. And because a lot of you are super high energy, a super beautiful, charged up, auric field beings, you will be attracting mosquitoes. You will be attracting those that want to drink from your well, that want to take from you without giving back. And so a lot of you, because of what is going on right now in the collective stage and the separation that is happening between the frequencies of the different sets of people, a lot of you are finding that this is affecting close loved ones from the past. Again, exes keep coming up, narcissistic type energies, exes from the past that are sort of making a re-emergence and pulling on those emotional cords. And for a lot of you, it wasn't always a great process to be in a relationship with these people. And so it's taking you back to a place in your emotional past with the Six of Cups in reverse that empties you out again. That leads to this theft of thought, this theft of time in your mind, where it's taken up your thoughts. And so be aware of that and be in your divinity and sovereignty to sever those cords once and for all, to move out of the space where they can affect you and turn these in the upright in order to cancel this one out. If you look at this, the Six of Cups and the Ace of Cups, that would make 7. And we have a 7 as the card that is in detriment to you today. So for you to be able to do this inner work and finally be brave enough to sever those cords and stand up for yourself in your divinity and sovereignty, absolutely neutralizes and cancels out the ability of these people around you, whether it be individuals around you or those from the collective stage, to be able to siphon from you, to take from you, to have that tap on your mind and on your emotions. So the power is yours. You just need to maybe look at it from a different perspective. We have as the next card the Six of Cups in the upright. So this is where this is where I feel a lot of you are being told to remember who you are. Remember who the people, the the things that you have overcome in the past, the way that you've managed to maintain compassionate natures, the way that you've managed to maintain to be of service to others, even in the detriment of your past and past experiences that have affected you emotionally. Remember who you are in that and the strength and powerhouse that you are. But also for a lot of you, remembering those emotional connections of the past that truly were fulfilling, that truly did plant those seeds of divinity and sovereignty, and did plant those seeds of wisdom that you can use now, that you can engage now. It's like load program now. Those wise words of grandparents that were spoken, of friends that were truly friends, of lovers that were truly lovers, and being able to use both the negative and positive in order to see a way forward and use those things for good in your present, in your now. We have the Judgment card in reverse. Now check the deck, because the clarifying deck, all of them came out reverse, and most of them in the deck are in the upright, so I went with it. Now the Judgment card keeps coming out, and it is in reverse regarding the Six of Cups. So this speaks of, we all go down these lines of, you know, no matter how good of an emotional nourishing background we've had, or how bad, we go down these paths where we do make these emotional connections that are in our detriment with this Ace of Cups and the Six of Cups in reverse. We do you know, stray maybe from the path that we were destined to be on. But the wisdom and power in this is to be able to recognize this, that when did you cross that path? When did you cross that sea, in order to be indoctrinated and conditioned to forget the who you are, forget the power that you are, the seeds that were planted in you by your grandparents, by your parents, by your ancestors, by those friends that were truly friends around you, and being able to pinpoint moments in your timeline as to when you sort of crossed the road that you shouldn't have been crossing, or when you were at that crossroads and made a decision that made you enter into relationships and times that were truly detrimental, that were going to empty your well. This is, you know, not so comfortable to look at all of the time, but the power in it is that you can absolutely pinpoint those moments, and you can take the lessons from them, and then you can absolutely transmute them into something that is no longer a trigger point, that is no longer a weakness, but a strength in your present, in your now, and therefore your future. Reaching into that past through your mind, through your emotional connections, through those emotional chords, to be able to pinpoint when that Six of Cups turned upside down, and therefore turned your love for self, your recognition for self upside down, the knowing of self upside down. And this is where the power is, because the next card is the Judgment card again. So this is where you truly can, through that process of being brave enough to look to those moments in the past where you were at those crossroads, where you made those decisions, to be able to truly extract that you can use to go forward. The Judgment card is not about allowing others to judge you. It is not about giving strength to others and capability to others to judge you. They can think they're judging all they like. They can spout off all they like, but in your power, in your divinity and sovereignty, like water off a duck's back, it flows, because you are just not accepting of that judgment. You have the wisdom to know that nobody can judge you. It is for you to be in the energy of the Judgment card, to truly transmute and think about what you let go of now, what you leave to the ground, what you shed the skin of like a snake and leave in this dark cavern, in this place where you found yourself, where you looked back and found your root, remembered who you were, remembered your ancestral roots. A lot of you get in strong messages from spirit to self about who you really are, about the capabilities you really hold. And this is where you are the one that judges for yourself, not in an incompassionate way, but in a balanced way. You judge for yourself what is serving you, what is not, and what your path forward looks like, what you truly resonate with, what is pulling you like a magnet forward in a certain direction, and being brave enough to let go of that, of anything that wants to pull you back underground, that wants to pull you back in the reverse. And so being able to have these things that come up, as frustrating as they might be, particularly if it's exes, you know, that you've gotten over, it's so in a certain amount of way, but there's still little things there that can trigger you into looking back to the past with sadness and feeling empty. The good thing about this is these positions, these times, these days in life actually give us a clue. It's like getting a cheat for a game where we can then actually look and pinpoint the moment and the decisions that we made that took us off our path and put us in the reverse, and allowed us to be judged, but allowed ourselves to be judged by others, allowed ourselves to be channeled in a direction by others, forgetting how divine and sovereign and powerful we are. And so this puts us in the upright with the Judgment card, which leads to that strategic, thoughtful, balanced and channeling energy of the Knight of Pentacles, being able to channel the beast and think clearly, and plot the direction that you are going in, to not be pulled in a direction because of emotional cords that pull you back into past positions that you've already learned from, but to go forward in your destination, on your path, with your determination, with your intent, with this Judgment card, because the Ace of Pentacles represents newness. It represents a new path, a new way forward, a new way of sustaining, a new way of living your reality, even down to the people that you have around you. So that is a beautiful energy. Let's see, as far as the collective stage, I want to say that today is a huge day for a lot of propaganda, a lot of spell work being put out there to desperately have people think that this is all that there's ever been, that we've always been in such a detrimental position. The history that we are taught, that we are emotionally connected to, is real, and a lot of propaganda to try and pull us into this energy, to mask the energy that is here today, that absolutely again cancels out and neutralizes those emotional cords that trigger us into pasts that actually half of the time are not true, and if true, they're very much distorted to the so-called powers that be, agenda and narrative. So the power is for you to truly connect with spirit, for you to truly connect with yourself on all realms, on all aspects of you, on all layers of you, and truly appreciate that you have an emotional connection to your true ancestry, to your true path, and you can pinpoint the moment that this hijack took over in your individual life. For those that, you know, came in and, you know, at that crossroads, that you made that decision to go down the wrong road, but also on the wider stage of really understanding that this is not how it has to be. This is not how it needs to be. There are memories in your water, in your ancestry, and water holding memory that are truly coming forward for a lot of people, and giving people the strength to see that this is not how it always was. This is, we've been given an illusion, and we've been emotionally tied and connected to it in order to be able to siphon off our energy via our emotions in particular. So I just want to clarify for the collective stage, what else do I need to say? Two of Coins, Nine of Wands. What else do I need to say? Today was the big old stage. Okay. So we've got the 2 of coins, the 9 of wands, the Knight of wands, and the 2 of cups. So speaking of that separation, this is where there truly is this layer of separation of realities, where a lot of you are looking out and seeing through this illusion, seeing through this promotion of the history that has been depicted, and seeing through that veil. And with that 2 of coins, it's there's a real balancing out today of, or an attempt to balance out, a juggling of these, the separation of peoples, the separation of realities almost, where people are deeply within the spell and deeply still connected to a past that has done nothing but siphon off their love for self, their acknowledgement for self. There are others who are truly ascending into this path, into this frequency of knowing the true emotional past that we can truly be connected to for our greatness. It takes a heck of a lot of discernment with the 9 of wands to be able to take regular pauses, to stop and evaluate and look at your emotional responses today in particular, to stay in your truth, in your power and in your frequency. With this Knight of Wands, again, the Knight of Wands comes in fast and furious and isn't a constant energy, and is very much an energy of the people, you know, the people love this energy, people who hold this energy, you know, they walk in a room and they lift up the room. So to stay fired up today, to stay energetic, regardless of what is going on the outside, being able to maintain and even draw in that chaos and use it for your greatness, to have the discernment to see what you need to see today in order to be able to go forward for your greatness. And we have the 2 of cups finally, and this speaks about the divine feminine, divine masculine balance within, and being able to use those divinities to channel yourself rather than others channeling you, is hugely important today. And the balancing of those divinities, like the scales within yourself, is where your power lies, to not be triggered into an emotional response that will take you down the very same path that has led you to certain areas in your life that you do not want to repeat. But as far as the collective stage, you know, it is sad that many people are being led down a garden path by the so-called powers that be, that absolutely takes them further and further away from their emotional connections to their true history, to their true ancestry, to what they should truly be connected to. This again speaks of that separation from the soul. This speaks of them using technology, i.e. roll up a sleever as the most current one, to separate the physical being from the soul, which I see as a boat. You know, the Norse very much depicting boats were very important, and also as a symbology of, you know, the soul is sort of the carrier, the anchor point, the container for all of the aspects of you. And to separate those people from that is very, very dark, and to be honest, the true implications are not known yet, but I know that it is painful for those that are going through it. Now, the other layer of that is that we, and Julie, I will do another video. I'd noticed your comments. I hope you're watching this video to catch me saying this. I will reply to your comment, and I will do another video. I've mentioned it lots of times in readings, and I'm sure I did do a video I'll ask Susie because she knows my work better than me, which video it was that I actually did on that, just on that. But I will do something to go into that further, because it is something that is happening, and I'm not excited by any means, but I am happy that other people are speaking about it now also, because it did sound out there. It did sound, you know, crazy. But the other thing is the multi-layered thing is, so I'll get to you on that, Julie, but the other thing is that there's this real endeavor, because of the strength that they are feeling from many people, being aware and awake to their trickery, to their foolishness, and in connection, and getting deeper and deeper into their connections of their true ancestry. Because of that, the propaganda is huge today to try and lead people away from self-source, from being connected to their own reality. So the magician comes out. So there's a lot of trickery today. What's the date again? Today's 2nd. 12. So it's 12/3. I love the 3. So expect a lot of statements that are made. Expect them to repeat certain aspects, the so-called powers that be, that is, certain aspects 3 times, to drill it home, to try and drill home that spell. And obviously they're just doing what they are told to do, but it's very much so a spell work when they're doing that. Look out for that. If you spot any, please put it in the comments, because I'll have a look at it. It is about leading people away as quickly as possible from their own truths, from their true family lines, from their true ancestry. And actually, a lot of people, I feel that this is going to come up as more and more people get affected by it, with this roll up a sleever, with the fibers being found in said muzzles and whatnot, and tests and whatnot that go very close to the brain. We I feel are going to start to see people almost having their inability to emotionally connect the way that they used to. So people around you that have taken things, you know, to meet this narrative, to meet this agenda, people are going to start noticing that they're like empty vessels, and some of them are, but very much so unable to connect emotionally the way they used to their children, to nature, to people around them who they used to be very emotionally close to. And so this is where, you know, alchemy is taking place in a great way, but not for good intent, using different variations, using different ingredients with this magician card to have an outcome that would lead to this, where people are being led away from their true power in their emotional body, in their emotions, in their emotional connections to themselves and others, which is very annoying and very sad to witness and see. And for those of you that are aware and awake to it, witnessing those who you love and feel like you don't know anymore, is very, very difficult, and my heart goes out to you for sure. We've got the 10 of Wands to clarify the Magician card here, and so this speaks of it being a heavy burden, both for the main part, for those who are able to see what is happening. It is a very heavy burden to witness this happening, and it is something that we must transmute in order to stay in our strength, in order to have any kind of chance of changing the current of the stream that they are trying to push us into. It takes strength to do this, and this again speaks of the divinities within, the divine feminine, the divine masculine, that kundalini energy, that power source energy that you have, that is yours, that is your true connection to who you are, not just in this realm. And this is where I feel it is sad for those that are aware that with the magician energy, you're very aware of the implications, not just in this physical self, in this physical skin, this physical reality, but the impact that it has on even the different worlds of self that we have in our elements, our water, our air, our fire, our earth, and being disconnected from those, creating these empty shells, these host-like bodies, these zombie-like figures, and people noticing that. It takes a lot of strength to notice that, but still try and stay connected to your true ancestry, your true emotional past. But this is what we must do in order to maintain our humanity, but not just maintain, get back to recognizing that we have had this veil over our eyes. We have had this sleeping goddess energy. It is for us to be very active in seeking that out and being truly connected to it, being guided by ourselves in order to stay anchored in, not to the false narrative, but into what is truly our makeup, our history, our ancestry, and our power. So that's the reading for today. But justice card on the bottom of the deck there, another balancing of the scales. And justice will be done. But justice doesn't just come in as this knight in shining armor or goddess, you know, with flowing hair. Justice comes in by the actions that we allow and the actions that we take. It is justice as in energetic justice, isn't in judgment of what is bad and what is good, what is evil and what is beautiful. It just reads the energy. And so for those who are accepting of that energy in any way, justice will be done, and justice is being done. For those who didn't stay connected to themselves and in balance with themselves and in continuous work to stay in that balance and in their divinities within, you know, justice is being served. And that is difficult. It's a heavy burden. It's horrible for me to say. I wish I didn't even want to say this. You know, I wish I could just be doing lovey-dovey readings, you know, of and I put the intent out there that one day I will be. It'll still be nitty-gritty of how we connect more and more to self, though, because this is a cycle, and it is for us to usher in the cycle that we want, the path that we want, the reality that we want with this Knight of Pentacles as well, and not let others decide for us. And that's easier said than done. But you and you and you and you and me are capable of it. And when standing together, we are stronger. So I appreciate you all for being here and standing with me. I stand shoulder to shoulder with each and every one of you too. If you'd like a personal reading or any energy flow sessions or any spiritual coaching sessions, you can hook up with me at truedivinemedia@gmail.com, or you can send me a message and a friend request on Facebook. It'd be great to get to know you over there too. I hop on and in and out of Facebook, but for now it is a good source still for now of being able to connect with others who are of like mind, and hopefully slipping a little bit of truth out here and there to those who are ready to maybe hear it. So have a fantastic day. My intent is for you to reach your highest potentials, to walk in your greatness, to be recognized and respected wherever you go for the beautiful energy and soul that you are, and for just great things, great surprises to happen to you, just walking down the street, bumping into the right person, finding the right smile on another face, and looking down at the ground and seeing that there's a little gift there for you to pick up. That is my intent for all of you today. Let me know what happens in your day. Mwah.